Time for another week of conjecture, defamation, and the news. It's Newshazard.
Where we put the weakness in weak.
I'm David, that's Danny, that's Phil. I nodded at the wrong boxes, but
Yeah.
I don't think anyone could possibly have told the
Boxes
difference.
here and boxes
I could have
there.
gotten away with it too. So what happened this week? Was there any news this week?
A little bit.
Sure was. Lots of news. But let's start off small. About yay big. Start off with the end of the penny.
I felt like this was surprisingly under-discussed for something that kind of affects people like every single day, basically. They stopped making pennies.
I mean, it doesn't affect me every day because I'd never use pennies, right?
Yeah, well, I guess on a large scale.
Hence the
Everyone's
ending of
like
the
you.
penny.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I guess this makes sense. It is a little weird just like to live through gradual inflation. How long will it be till they retire the $20 bill?
A long time at
It's the
this rate.
$20 bill? I don't know if we'll have a United States by that point, but that's an optimistic future thing. We could also do like a big squish, like some countries do a squish.
New American dollars are worth 20 old American dollars.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Like they just like rename their currency just so that like
Well, there's, lots of different things that people do, but just like introduce a new currency that kind of like deflates, but is
right, so that
equivalent.
they don't have to deal with big annoying numbers.
exactly. So like if you had like $1,000 in the far future, you'd be able to like trade those in for new dollars, and you'd get one new dollar, which is worth $1,000.
Sure. Okay, yeah, that works. I thought you were talking the squish concept you were talking about sounded kind of crazy. Just like, okay, since pennies are just really dumb, just all your pennies are now nickels. Just like
I like
what?
the squish concept because I like ASMR. Immediately cut. I'm setting a trap for myself in the future.
A couple episodes ago, I went like cut, and then that shit stayed right in the episode.
I loved it. I thought it was so funny. But like you going cut stayed in the episode too, because I thought that was funny too.
I'm glad the editors respect my wishes. Yeah, okay, so we got rid of the penny. Good, because I assume the penny, it's not a useful amount of money for anything. Nothing can be bought with a penny, and it costs money to make. Probably costs more than a penny to make a penny.
Does.
Waste of resources.
It does. It has for years. This is like a rare example of government addressing a minor problem, but an actual problem.
Okay, good.
When
Yeah.
they-
So what took so long?
Momentum, dude. People don't like to change things.
There was an actual fight against this, right? There was like a copper lobby, like an American copper mining lobby that was like, no, we
course
can't end
there
the
is.
penny.
Yeah,
That makes perfect sense.
If memory serves, it's like the copper lobby and the zinc lobby, because pennies are largely zinc based these days. So like the people who make pennies were like, grr, don't end the penny. I don't know. No one else is crying. You know who probably was also behind it? Those people who make the kind of like boardwalk or like tourist trap kind of crank
smusher
and smush a
machines.
penny thing. Like,
right.
yeah, they're going to be in for dire straits. Won't have pennies to smush.
Yeah, that was big business. Okay, well, good. Hey, the government did something good. You know what else the government did? It opened.
It did.
Man,
It did. We're
Hooray.
back, baby.
You remember last week when our
Yeah,
commenters...
I saw your predictions for the government shutdown. I wasn't here, but I would never have made such a foolish prediction.
Of course, by the time the episode came out, the government had already been opened. 2 days after the government reopened, you got to see me and Danny pontificate about how much longer it would be closed. And we were betting, it would stay closed a while longer.
You guys are putting the punt in pontificate.
In our defense, I do feel
15
like
more of those.
we said something about how like it might end really soon because it was finally affecting air travel. So
That was true.
Is
we're
that
only
what
you
completely
expected the
we're only
Democrats
mostly
to
wrong,
get-
not completely wrong.
Yeah, I think the big thing was like, oh yeah, well, it's affecting air travel, so that like hits Congress people where they live. But I think there was like, oh yeah, the Democrats will fight this and definitely get something out of the deal, right? That didn't exactly work out.
They'd been showing uncharacteristic amounts of spying, but I guess it couldn't go on forever.
Yeah, let's talk about the recent pardons, like Rudy Giuliani
Ugh.
and the
Sidney Powell.
various 2020, Sidney Powell, yeah. The various people who were trying to steal the election in 2020.
Are you still allowed to say that now that they've been pardoned?
I don't know. I mean, like, if you, like, pardon all the criminals, doesn't that just make crime legal? Can't I just say anything? I can do as much slander as I like.
I mean,
Yeah,
only
but-
if you're going to get pardoned, but you don't seem like the type because you don't have a large amount of cryptocurrency sitting around,
And
as
it's
far
not-
as I know.
And it's not slander. I mean, right, if someone
Yeah.
commits a crime, then you can call them a criminal, and the fact that they were pardoned doesn't make them not a criminal.
The truth is the ultimate defense of slander. So,
Yeah, but
I'm
like,
pretty
what is the
confident.
truth, man?
whoa.
Yeah, but that's what we're here to discuss, Danny. We get
Of
to the
course.
bottom of it.
We're the arbiters of truth.
Yeah, us with ChatGPT at our fingertips.
I put the biter in arbiter. Chomp, chomp.
Damn, Phil, on a total
I owe you
tear
14
today.
more.
I wish we had a list of all the conflict of interest pardons that Donald Trump has issued. He didn't invent the conflict of interest pardon, but he's definitely bringing it to industrial scale. With George Santos, he said, like, yeah, he's a criminal, but at least he's Republican, making it clear that you'd have to be a real idiot to spend serious time in jail.
I wonder at this point, like, who's left? Are there any prominent Republican figures who have committed? Like, I struggle to think. Like, there was what was the guy who tried to sell like a Senate seat? That guy got pardoned.
Rod Blagojevich, right?
Rod Blagojevich got pardoned. All the January 6th people have been pardoned. I think, like, all of them by this point, and they're entitled to damages.
Yeah, they're going to sue, and the government. Yeah, right. The government's going to pay them. Normally, like, if you are like prosecuted, and even if the prosecution loses, like, you don't generally get to sue for that, right? Or whatever. You don't generally win a lawsuit for that.
Yeah, but that's because, they're not writing the actual law, whereas these Congress people are writing the actual law. So,
Yeah, I
them-
mean, if you put in a provision into a law and pass that law, then you can just do that thing. Now it is legal to do that.
Right. So, and what is this? So this was to reopen the government. As part of the bill to reopen the government, they added a provision that some set of senators whose, like, phones had been looked at as part of the January 6th investigations are entitled to, $500,000 of
per violation.
per violation. So just like a payoff. And Democrats voted for this.
8 of them, 6 of them, 8 of them. I don't know.
Insanity. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Somehow they managed to put that into the law, so doesn't feel criminal. But I feel like these pardons, with every one of these conflict of interest pardons, I am more and more of the opinion that we need a constitutional amendment to get rid of the pardon power from the president and to nullify past pardons. Because,
Yeah.
like,
This is
you just can't
certainly-
have a society crippled by this behavior, right? Like,
But
Yeah,
at the
like,
same
this is
time,
it's a hack. It's a cheat code, right?
This is
Just
a
break
weakness
free.
of people who are seeking to, like, fight the Trump administration purely on legal bounds. If they change the law to make crime legal, then like, what are you gonna do?
Okay, but they haven't done that. Okay, Congress writes the laws. So, okay, in this case, just to reopen the government, they got a couple carve out, they paid off some senators. It's insane. It's disgusting. Okay, that's done. That doesn't mean that they are just making crime illegal. And, like, Trump pardoning doesn't make the crimes, like, legal. It makes it so they're de facto unenforceable right now, which is why I'm saying when we're done with this guy, it's time for a constitutional amendment to get rid of the pardon power and nullify past pardons. Because, like, you just can't have, the Constitution, you can modify it in this kind of a way, in any way. It is a
I don't know, dude.
modifiable.
It's hard to imagine a constitutional amendment getting passed in our lifetimes with the, having to get all the states together, having to get,
Yeah, they didn't-
3/4 of Congress to all vote together, something like that.
I feel like the people in charge on both sides like the pardon power. That's my impression of it. I feel like it's like the filibuster. It's, they had every opportunity in the world, like the Democrats before them, to end the filibuster and just push through their legislation. They chose not to because they like having that
Dysfunction.
backstop. It's
Not
like,
even a backstop. What is it?
It's
Sorry,
a
go
it's
ahead.
a it's a it's a way to pull the ripcord and like not get blamed and thrown in jail. Like and it is a it's a literal get out of jail free card. Like the people in power directly benefit from both the pardon and like the filibuster.
I don't get how they benefit. So you're saying right. So I think right with the filibuster, they benefit because they don't have to vote on anything, because it hurts them politically every time they have to vote. They can be held accountable for their vote. People could say, "Why did you voted against this? You voted for that."
Yeah, ultimately, what like their actual goal is to stay in power. Like that, it's nothing that they're voting on. They always have that as like a backstop to like prevent something controversial that could really backfire on them.
They don't even have to vote on something if it's not overwhelmingly popular.
I mean, I think it's also that like it gives the minority party power, and they'll be the minority party again. So they don't want it to be completely.
I mean, that's what they say, but the majority can just get rid of it, right? So they don't
but
actually.
it's a much larger majority though to overcome the filibuster. Like you have to have like overwhelming control of the like.
But they can like change the rules, right?
Yeah, but like that's what I'm saying is they won't do it as long as they're like benefiting.
Right, but I'm saying like of these benefits that we've hypothesized here, one is that like the benefit that it gives the minority some power. Like I don't think it actually. I mean, like it doesn't, because it's actually just a procedural thing that the majority can get rid of, right? Or
I
they can
hate
only
to
do it
like
once a year, or I don't know.
I hate to bring up the possibility of less stable governments because it feels like, I don't know, like what are we even talking about here? But there are less stable governments where there is much more danger involved with being a member of government. Like if your party loses an election, your party gets thrown up against the wall and everyone dies, right? If they felt like they were in actual danger, if they lost control of the party of government, they would do things like abolish the filibuster. But because they don't feel like they're in any actual danger of losing their jobs or losing their lives, they like having the filibuster because it's like like they like working in politics. They don't want to leave their job.
All right.
Okay. So, right, pardoning Giuliani, right? Yeah, I mean, so we are in agreement. It's a conflict of interest for him to be pardoning Giuliani. One more, just for further creating an environment where crime on behalf of Donald Trump.
Keep using
stays.
this phrase, conflict of interest. And it's like, I guess we're imagining that presidents are supposed to act a certain way. And it's, it feels like so long ago that we've had a president that is like acting like the head of state and not just the head of a mafia family.
Yeah, it's been a year. Yeah, I think, yeah, that's right.
Almost a year. Not even a year.
Yeah, I know. I just said it because this is a news item. And what are you going to say about this news item other than just there's the literal fact of it. Trump pardons Giuliani. Okay. And then there's like applying meaning to this, and the meaning is fairly obvious, but I thought I should say it anyway, right? Which is like that he's further creating this environment where people who commit crimes on his behalf are safe from prosecution, or where he protects them. We'll see whether that is permanent. Yeah, and so that was just. I feel like if you're going to mention the facts, you have to do like a little bit of saying what the meaning is. We could go deeper than that, but I don't think there's that much deeper to go. Like this is happening every day. We should keep a list of it. This is now, number 10,000.
But hey, there's also good news this week.
Yeah?
Yeah. Our legal system is fighting back a little bit, dude. They're stopping Donald Trump from doing some stuff that he wants to do that he's not supposed to actually do.
Here and there.
So the judge finally permanently blocked the deployment of the National Guard to Portland.
I mean,
Yay.
Pending appeal, right? No, I mean, this hasn't gone to the U.S. Supreme Court, right?
No.
Were they still there, by the way? Like
no,
the National Guard?
They never got deployed, actually. They were still like wrangling about it the whole time, going back and forth.
Okay,
I was actually
in
Washington, D.C. recently. I saw like National Guard kind of like patrolling around, taking selfies. I don't know. Just hanging out, basically. But yeah, it's good that the National Guard never got deployed to Portland, I guess. I mean, they didn't need to be there, so it's good that they didn't waste their time.
Yeah, I didn't realize that they had never been deployed. So yeah, in terms of like, so now that part of the saga is over, like, can we just revisit it? So it was like, what, 2 months ago, they said they were gonna, and then one judge stopped them, and then they said, okay, well, we'll send the ones from California, and then one judge stopped them, but then another one said, okay, but then another one just now has stopped them. Is that basically what happened here?
Well, they also had they assembled all the judges for that entire circuit, and then they all like voted on it together. I don't know.
Okay, that's what this
Wow.
was.
I mean, I don't have enough like legal knowledge to like,
En banc, is that what that is? The whole bench, right? As opposed to the small panel of judges that voted the first time.
All right, so it says the U.S. District Court Judge Karen Immergut found that President Trump, quote, did not have a lawful basis to federalize the National Guard and permanently blocked him from sending the National Guard. It was a final order in the case. There's a 106-page order, but I'm not going to read that whole thing.
Okay, but so in terms of like, America's slip into authoritarianism, in terms of the scrotum system or, whatever it is, like, where does this put us? This is
a little bit better than we were because the courts actually stopped Trump from doing something that wasn't supposed to do.
Yeah, and I mean, they issued an order, and so far, then he's like, or they're following the order, like they're not saying screw you, judge, and going there anyway, right?
So far.
So the courts seem to still, when they give an order of this kind, it seems to be followed.
I mean, I think so, right?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's right. I mean, I've been feeling better about this situation, slip into authoritarianism, for the last few weeks. Like even like leading up to the elections. Obviously, like the elections were good to see that the people are not with the Republicans right now. And
like there's not like no, like you can't just be terrible and face no change of opinion from the American people. Like it sometimes feels like there has been a shift in numbers of like voter approval and stuff like that.
For people like us who pay attention, it's like, how could you even, it's like, it was already so obvious that they were so bad, like how could you have voted for them at all to begin with? But, that all that evidence wasn't good enough for 80 million Americans, but
yeah. I mean, now's the time when people are going to be feeling the actual consequences, like it's not abstract. Like if your neighbor gets kidnapped, if you didn't know your neighbor, it's like you wouldn't necessarily be affected by that. But, I think a lot of people right now are going to be feeling the direct result of some negative Republican policies in the form of the health insurance rates. Like I got my final rate for next year and it's up by $1,000
a month. Yeah, I mean, it's brutal. It's brutal. So people noticed that. And also, and like people were in some weird fantasy that like all the inflation was just like, this is just Joe Biden's bad stuff, and Trump, at least he's some like savvy business guy. And like, yeah. And so that stupid nonsense is, not passing the reality test. So like it didn't pass the logic test. Go ahead.
So he canceled a bunch of tariffs in order to try and bring down inflation. Which, if you accept their logic of tariffs don't increase prices, is, a baffling move, seemingly devoid of logic.
Right. I remember seeing that this is like, so chocolate. So finally.
And coffee and like a bunch of other.
Bananas, stuff that we don't make. Beef, for example. Apparently Americans don't make beef.
We don't make beef? What?
We don't make enough beef.
Okay.
You always got to make more beef.
Well, everyone gets mad and anyway, right. The whole little tariff thing has been a big stupid. Anyway,
it's like
typical Trump policy, just fucking stupid as hell and badly done, badly conceived, badly executed, and ignominiously scrapped bit by bit.
What irks me about that is like trying to get credit for scrapping your own policy. Like, look at how magnanimous I'm being.
I heroically restrained myself from being even worse. Thank me.
I was wailing on you, and then I briefly paused, like I'm no longer punching you. How great is that?
I have briefly paused the orphan crushing machine that I designed and built.
Mm-hmm.
I also heard that the Swiss gave Trump a gold bar and then he canceled the tariffs on Switzerland, just like as a gift. So yeah, gold bars along with crowns. These are the gifts to win Trump's favor.
Okay. I think I spoke too soon the last episode I was on about how every country should give a gold crown. I think that is a little culturally insensitive. Now, the gold crown, there's like some historic basis in Korea to have this crown. It was like a bit of a cultural artifact. The Swiss, gold bars, they're like the international banking hub. It's like a nice theme thing. So everyone should give a gold object that somehow reflects their cultural heritage.
Mm-hmm.
That way it's not like tacky,
Do you think Trump is going to try and pardon the thieves from the Louvre because he'll expect some crown jewels as like a bribe?
I mean, probably
Can
those
Trump
have already been
pardon
confiscated.
French criminals?
Yeah,
Time will tell.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't say he's going to succeed. I said, would he try?
He's just across the Atlantic, pardoning as hard as he can.
Yeah, there's a slight jurisdiction issue there, Dan.
Fire up the auto pen. We've got pardoning to do. Oh, did you see, by the way, like that one of the little wrinkles in this pardoning story is people are mad because he clearly used an auto pen to make those pardons after railing against the Biden administration for using an auto pen to sign things. Just like the stupidest, like who cares how they're signing their documents? But like,
it's a little refreshing
it's just hypocrisy.
Like occasionally you see this from like MAGA crowd, like you actually see some consistency. And like when they see Trump doing the things that he like just hammered Biden for doing, or, that he viciously, smears people for, and he does the exact same thing. They didn't realize it before, like that he did those things like the whole time. But when they see him do it, they actually call it out some. Like you haven't. Anyway,
I don't know.
whatever.
I mean, like, I guess if you had a specific example of a MAGA person doing this,
I want to
just thought
believe
it
you.
was
That sounds
libs.
nice.
I'm not saying that
No.
this is widespread. But you
us.
see it every now and then.
I guess actually that's a good segue into our next little tidbit here, which is that Marjorie Taylor Greene
right?
is voting to release the Epstein files.
Right.
And
So they
Trump
think
is
yeah.
upset because as an innocent man, he would be exonerated by these files, which is why he's so desperate to prevent them from being released.
Right. I think that the whole Epstein saga is the main example of this that I have, is that plenty of MAGA people are like, what the fuck with the whole Epstein thing? It's like, this is...
I think, yeah. And it's like particularly like the furthest right people, like this is their issue, because the way that people like Marjorie Taylor Greene and Lowen Bobart got into power was through the conspiratorial space. That's their base. So like if they let those people down, they'll never get elected again.
Or worse.
Like,
what do you mean? Sorry,
because
what?
she's saying that her like life has been threatened and she's like had to get security.
Right.
She might have more to worry about than just the election.
Well, I mean, it's not. Like the people who supported her are very stable and wouldn't do anything drastic. I'm sure she's overreacting.
Do we think that Donald Trump had Epstein whacked?
That he hadn't killed?
Yeah. What percentage do you guys have on that?
I don't know, honestly.
Pretty low.
There's a lot of people who wanted him dead, and he was in a spot where he could easily be killed, I guess.
Right, yeah. I mean, like, if only low because he's not... Donald Trump isn't the only person who wanted him dead, right? But, like, also, my default for these kind of things is it's more exciting if he was killed secretly, and therefore I think it's less likely,
The
like
world
that.
is boring.
Well, no, it's just, I mean, like, that I feel like there's just like a lot of energy behind people wanting it to be true because it is interesting, and like
Sure.
I need to like balance it out somehow. That's equally suspect from like a scientific perspective. I just that's my emotional reaction to it.
Yeah, but it's a fair point though to say that okay, it's less likely that it was him because there are so many other people who wanted him dead. So you guys think it's fairly likely that he was whacked by somebody like that.
I mean, he just the camera happened to stop working right when he actually totally hung himself. His ghost is destroying the camera on the way out. The footage is just missing.
Turning the camera off. Like that just seems like a level of competence that if that were the case, that it wouldn't have been Trump behind it. Like Like, Trump doesn't cover his footsteps well.
Yeah, well, I mean, obviously, I don't think David is saying he like personally went in there and strangled him with his own 2 hands, right? Like he had
No, but I
somebody
mean,
do
like,
it.
but he couldn't. I just feel like his involvement in it would have sabotaged the operation somehow. Like, he couldn't even tell
The
people to
agent's
do
cell
it.
phone starts ringing as he's, trying to sneak in.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I hope this stuff gets investigated.
What's getting investigated?
I mean,
Mhm.
it's all been
Mhm.
investigated. We just don't get to see the results, right?
Yeah, the Trump administration is going deep into the Epstein files to investigate all the perpetrators. Bill
Who
Clinton.
are Democrats.
Yeah,
I heard
exactly.
well, what's this guy? Some legal commentator saying that the reason why they're doing this investigation isn't so. You might think that it's just because they're like, oh, let's investigate Democrats because they are doing this left and right. They're investigating their political opponents. But anyway, the reason that he thinks they're doing it is because they'll be able to not release this information because it is relevant to an active prosecution, and that actually might hold some water. Who's this? Glenn Kirshner
that.
saying this.
That feels right. I guess we're just I'm going on vibes today, so
Good.
I've decided that's
Yep.
true.
Good. I mean, David said Glenn said it, so shit. But so this means that also that the Democratic member of the House of Representatives was sworn in, right?
That's right. That's what triggered this. Finally, after the government reopened, was sworn in, right? Was that part of the deal?
No, it wasn't part of the deal. But also, like, that's part of why, like, Marjorie Taylor Greene is, getting, slapped by Trump right now. It's because she was one of the defectors, the Republicans that voted with the Democrats to release them.
But, like,
Good.
I don't know, were there any Democrat
each other?
defectors?
Probably. There's always some. Right?
What's Fetterman up to?
He's in the Senate. He's not voting in the House.
Right.
Also,
Yeah,
he's falling over and hurting himself is what he's up to. I don't know if you guys saw that.
Sorry, what?
Yeah, he tripped in the hall or something.
No, he had like an atrial fibrillation event or something, and he fell and hurt his face and had to be taken to the hospital.
Who
Yikes.
fell? No, I was thinking of a different senator. I was thinking of Turtle guy.
Mitch McConnell. When we send
Mitch McConnell fell
people
the
to the
other day.
Senate, we're not sending our physically strongest Americans, that's for sure.
Yeah. No, we saved that for the presidency. Did you guys see he whenever he yelled at some reporter asking, because Trump got an MRI and the reporter had the indiscretion to ask what was the MRI for, to which he said just hemmed and hawed and said the doctor said it was the best. I don't know what it was for, but the doctor said it was like the best result they've ever seen. And I also took a mental acuity test and I scored 100. Like he just rambled for a couple minutes on this. It's got something to hide, but
a man who constantly says I passed a mental acuity test is,
God.
He didn't know what the MRI was for, though. Curious.
It's just
You think with a 100% mental acuity, he would have been able to recall that detail?
I mean, I guess, the workings of his own body are not important to him because he's invincible, so it couldn't be anything wrong.
Okay.
And also, why did he even use that? He could have just used his med bed.
More questions.
Okay, what's this last one?
Yeah, we talked about a court case with the National Guard being blocked permanently. Another update on a court case that happened in the UC system. He withheld funds over affirmative action policies, and a federal judge has ruled that he cannot do that. It was ruled unlawful coercion.
Right, which is I guess been the case with all of this shit he's been doing to all of the colleges around the country, but somehow the UC's, the legal process went further here.
It seems like
some of the other colleges have won too.
Aspersions at too many colleges, but Harvard won their case and the UC system won their case. It does seem like the more prestigious universities are winning their cases.
Well,
the ones
Columbia
with good legal
didn't fight
programs. Oh, did Columbia?
I thought.
Oh yeah, Columbia didn't fight back. They just complied.
Right. This is it's good to see that. I just remember in the early days or whatever, back to taking this one tidbit of news and updating our map of how are we doing in terms of this slide to authoritarianism. In the early days when you saw all these law firms and colleges just sort of preemptively complying, capitulating without a fight. That sort of is the scariest, one of the scary times in the early goings of this authoritarian slide. But it is good to see that momentum hasn't snowballed, and that the institutions that have fought back tend to be winning, because he's obviously breaking the law and he has no leg to stand on with any of his complaints, etc.
Yeah. Quick update. I totally undersold Trump's demands. I said it was like an anti-affirmative action thing. It turns out it is that. It was also, he demanded they limit campus protest, bar the campus's medical center from performing gender-affirming surgeries or hormone therapy on minors, which
It doesn't do
I
anyway,
can't imagine would
probably.
come up much if you're a university. like your child prodigies who are transitioning will now be denied care.
Most
And-
important issue facing our country today.
I think the American voter cares more about this than the economy, don't you think? And also that the UCLA had to deny admissions to foreign students with anti-Western sentiment. So some real Red Scare shit. Yeah, so all of that whole cloud of academic, anti-democratic sentiment, that was being batted back by the court, I guess.
So what a ridiculous thing
Good.
to say, dude. Anti-Western sentiment? I'm against a direction, dude. It's
I
the
mean-
worst cardinal direction.
That's probably not what they meant. I feel like I can understand what they might mean by that.
But that's like such a weird thing to have the government say, right?
Western. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's because Western isn't an ideology unless you're speaking about it in like sort of broad white supremacist sort of, senses. Like, oh yeah, the West has fallen because Sydney Sweeney looks ripped in her latest movie,
Starbucks
saw
doesn't
that
say
there was-
Merry Christmas.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right. Well, that was the news. I hope we didn't defame you. If we defamed you, please leave a cease and desist comment.
Which cardinal direction do you think has fallen? Let us know in the comments.
I think it's south.
That's why it's at
I
the
think it's
bottom, dude.
West.
It fell.